Hello and welcome to the Sunbirdcrochet podcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from Germany. Saturday morning and I woke up at like 5 o'clock and first things first, the podcast. You might ask yourself, what's this? Today I have for you a finished object and 3 works in progress. So let's start with the elephant in the room. Let me say it like this. Yesterday we had 27 degrees and I kept working on this shawl until it was done. And today, even though we had a thunderstorm and lots of rain, it's still very humid and you might see some pearls of perspiration on my upper lip, but I do have to wear this. I'm so happy about it. It's eccentric, yes. I'm calling it my Rulebreaker Shawl and there is no pattern at the moment. I didn't write down any notes. I could kind of reconstruct a pattern, but this idea was started because I went on the Mighty Networks group and Gemma, she said that she felt quite left out with all the crochet along posts about the Westknit crochet and not crochet along, knit along. You see, knitters always get confused with crocheting and knitting, and so do crocheters because we obviously assume that everything is crochet. No, let me start again. So Gemma said that she feels a bit left out with all the Westknit MKAL posts happening left, right and center on Instagram and everywhere else on social media. So as a non-knitter, yeah, we are really wishing for a lovely crochet along like this, colorful, boasting with color and self-confidence. So that gave me the idea to not to write a pattern or to start a crochet along, but to make myself a shawl. And I had already balled up lots and lots of my Admit minis. I posted it on Instagram. So if you're following me on Instagram, you've seen this huge Godzilla ball already. And I can show you what I have left after making this. This is what I still have left. So it was double the size, about the size of my head. And it was all the not so much loved colors, I must say, like neon greens, mostly neon colors, yellow, because I'm not a yellow person, just because of the color of my skin. It's more olive and pale, kind of makes me look greenish, but I thought I would hold this. I mean, it's not a magic knot ball, it's just a normal knot ball. I mean, I prefer to secure my knots with a double knot and leaving quite a lot of tail like this so that I can work it in. That feels much safer to me than a magic knot. Anyway, I digress. So I made a huge ball of this and then I held it double with, I will go into the detail now. So this is my Rulebreaker Shawl and I started using the pattern of the Frost Shawl by Siegmund. And then I just started to go my own way, take a take a detour around and then going back to the front post double crochet design, US terms from the Frost Shawl before continuing going crazy with these. So let me take this off because it's so hot. So this is the start. Just the usual triangular shawl with increases down the middle and on each corner or edge. Then I started to make chains, and let me see what it is. You can see it here. First I made a chain 1, then another chain 5, like a picot chain space, and then another chain 1, and I skipped 1 stitch down here, so that gave me like a chain space with a picot chain space. And you see, reconstruction is difficult. I should have written it down, but here I worked a single crochet in here, then I made a chain space again and worked a single crochet into that picot chain space, chained 3, made another single crochet into the picot chain space, and then chain down here and single crochet down here. So that was that. Then I made even bigger chain spaces up here, and into these I worked fans, and you can hardly see them because I used Angora wool with that. And this is all my second strand of yarn. These are all inherited vintage yarn balls. Some I had the labels, some I didn't. For the Angora, I didn't. This one here, the white one, which is really fluffy, you can see the fluff. I actually had to rip back a started baby cardigan. So this is all salvaged and vintage and out of stash. And after the fan here, yes, I was covered in fluff, bunny fluff. Angora is a bunny, I'm sure you know. And then I made these arches here, like with here securing it here at the top, working over the chain of the fluffy yarn, and then in here and another one in here. And then once I did that, I worked in all the stitches again, just half double crochets, and then I made according to the Frost Shawl pattern, I continued with the front post stitches, which gives a really lovely texture. And then I made a construction which I really can't recall because it was like 2 layers, one in front, one in the back, which gave me a little bit of a brick design down here. Then I worked half double crochets again, made long chains with I think I had 9 stitches between each huge chain of, I chained 18, and then I made a single crochet down again, and then I had like 9 normal half double crochets before making the next long chain. And then I worked into these, into the big chains, and each time I came into this corner, I made first here I made 3 stitches together, and then the next round I worked 4 stitches together, which then gave me like a open bubble or petal, don't know how you want to call it, which is the light one here. And then I connected these with the top of one of the bubbles. You can't see it really. The top of one of these bubbles I connected here by just working into the top here 3 stitches up here and made another chain, and into these I could work again half double crochets for 1, 2, 3 rows before ending the whole shawl with another front post double crochet, half double crochet border. And here in that section and in that section here and in the section down here, I used a different Angora wool, also vintage, from Austermann wool here in my area, but it was again a vintage yarn from, the label said West Germany, so it must be before 1989. So you wouldn't think that this quite eccentric shawl is a kind of throwback from the 80s. Eat that, Mr. West. Just joking. The only problem I have with this is that it's so fluffy, and I end up with fluff everywhere, up my nose, in my mouth, in my eyes. So if you are allergic to floating fibers and have a problem with it, then don't use Angora. But otherwise, just go crazy with your shawl. There are no rules. I can't wait to wear this out in the wild. So this is my one and only finished object. Let's go over to the works in progress. Many you have seen already. Like, this was the inspiration, the finished object from last time. A frost shawl, also holding yarn together. I've shown it to you last time, but I have a commission to make another one. And I do have plenty of yarn. I was sorting out lots and lots of my inherited yarn, as I said last time already. But I still have so much, sorry about the clinking. I still have so much yarn left. At the moment I'm working on a more subtle colored version of it. So this is all alpaca, brown alpaca yarn, and it looks like this. This is not something I would usually use because it's just dull, I would think. So it's a game changer to use a second strand of yarn to hold it together with something else. And these are also all yarn minis, advent minis and leftovers. And I made a palette which goes from dark green over to, let me show it in the shawl, dark green, and I have to weave this in still, then a lighter green, and then a grayish, and this is where I am now. I'm still at the gray, but it will then move into a kind of vintage rose color, and then into really chocolate browns. And I'm looking forward to that. So as I said, this is a commission, or rather, I'm not getting paid for it, but I will have someone wearing it whilst watching TV. So if colourful is not your kind of thing, then this might be your inspiration. The Frost Shawl really lends itself to everything, to every colors. And you can adapt it to make your own crazy stuff, like this one here. So I have 2 Frost Shawls in variation, 1 Frost Shawl in progress, and the other 2 works in progress you've seen last time. I just wanted to show you how far I've come. This one here, this is my heritage blanket, and it's a crochet along by Yalin. And I've made a little bit of progress. These are my yarns I have for it, set aside. Mainly acrylic with some wool content. And I made a little bit of progress. I think last time you saw it up to here. So this is what I've done in the meantime. I could have used the turquoise here as well, but she has in one of her samples, she has like a filler of a diamond. So I like that. This is my progress of a heritage blanket. And I must admit that I put it aside because that craziness came in between. So this is my progress on this blanket. And then I have another one here, not a blanket, a work in progress. And I'm using this sparkly goodness. And I don't know, it's more purple than what you see. It's not that pink. But I guess with the blue background, it gives out more violent pink. It's more purplish pink. And a huge ball of black acrylic yarn. This is all acrylic yarn. I've got plenty of those as well. And I'm making a Tunisian crochet shawl. It's all tangled up. I'm using a 6mm crochet shawl here. Not crochet shawl. I'm using a 6mm Tunisian hook with a long cable. I think it's about a meter or no. I don't know. Is this a meter? Probably. And this is supposed to be a shawl for Halloween because it has a motif which is a pumpkin, a grinning pumpkin. So far I'm only on the wing, the one wing, and the way you use this, I don't think I give too much away when I say that one color, this is color B, the pink is color B, you only do right stitches. What's it called? This is a pattern in German, so I can't really tell you the. It's like a knit stitch and a purl stitch. Is that in Tunisian as well? In German it's rechte und linke Maschen. So this one you would make the usual, like a knit stitch, and the black one is a combination of knit and purl stitch. So it is actually raised. Can you see that? It's a bit raised, which means depending how you combine these stitches, there will be like an effect of only seeing black or stripes, or while you're moving it, something in between, like a color effect, like illusion shawl, you see? But I haven't come to the pumpkin face yet. And I'm using about, the yarn is double the thickness, and therefore the pattern asks for a 3 or 3.25mm hook size, and I'm using a 6mm hook So this is going to be enormous. I'm actually thinking about just stopping to increase and finishing it with another wing, leaving out the pumpkin in the middle, and then making it again with the proper asked for size of hook and weight of yarn. I will see. Well, maybe it's going to be just an XXXL shawl. So this is obviously a two-sided shawl, but what I mean is that here you have the proper pattern, and the back looks like this. So there you have a kind of rich, just ridges. This is not going to show the pattern of a pumpkin, I think, and I still have to work my ends in here. Yeah, so this is my Tunisian crochet project. That's everything already from me today. I would have saved it for next time, but I'm so happy about my crazy Rulebreaker shawl. I had to show to you. Because I love it. Boop, boop, boop. Good. I'm thinking about what else I could tell you. I have nothing incoming since last week. I've ordered something, but I will keep that for next time. And there are some wool fests happening in the UK, and some of you are there, like this weekend. Or this I can tell you. This weekend there is the Sweater Weather Festival at Farnham Maltings, and Alison from Moorit Magazine is having a stand there, and she's there and showing you the Moorit Magazine samples, all the lovely garments and accessories. So if you are going, then please make sure to visit Alison and Moorit Magazine. And now that's really all of me from today. We have a lovely weekend ahead. I hope you're going to enjoy yours. Keep safe, keep crafting, and I'm going to talk to you soon. Bye!